The life of St. Peter and the life of St. Paul represents two different sort of aspects of the whole Christian thing. Obviously, St. Peter is the closest thing we have to a cradle Catholic amongst the apostles. St. Paul is the closest thing we have to a convert among the early apostles. And St. Paul's story is phenomenal because you have this miraculous or marvelous transformation. You have the man who was Saul at one point. And then something happened, and now he is different. Maybe not completely different, but certainly noticeably and in all the most important ways, massively different. And in fact, the Lord called Saul. He wants, I want you. And for the same reasons that Saul was such a powerful and dangerous person to the Christians in the beginning, makes him a powerful and important witness after his conversion. But St. Paul was willing to hear the Lord and allow himself to be transformed so that he was one way and now he's another. I had this experience and now I'm different. Now, of course, St. Paul is probably very different than the most of us. There's no indication in sacred scripture or any church history or tradition that St. Paul ever did any amount of backsliding. Because let me tell you, that is the ordinary human condition, and St. Paul's life was the exception. Because most of us have an experience. I am now different after than I was before. And then about 3 to 6 months later, this is so hard. We fall prey to the problems of Israel. It's so hard. Wasn't it easier back when we were in Egypt? There's garlic, meat. Yeah, but you were a slave. This is hard. It was easier before. Yeah, but you were a slave to sin. You were a slave to your own motives. And now you're free. Yeah, freedom hard. But freedom is freedom. And so St. Paul continues. He stays on that route. I had this experience. He goes back. We know he goes back to it again and again. You know how we know he goes back to it again and again and again? Because he tells the story 3 times and none of them line up. But St. Paul, this moment, as he processed it, and he thought about it, and looked backwards at this moment of his calling, it became food and fodder for what he taught and proclaimed and teach. And it's really simple message. We lose sight of the fact that St. Paul's ministry was so simple because he wrote these letters that endure forever. But the idea of what St. Paul did was, I'm just going to tell you what happened to me and the impact it's had on my life. And if you want to listen, awesome. I have so much more to tell you. And if you don't want to listen, good luck with that. I'm going to go on to the people that want to listen. His whole life was actually really, really simple. And it bore profound fruit. Because St. Paul had this experience. He didn't doubt it, he didn't question it. But his life was one way. He had an experience of Jesus Christ, and now he's another way. I can't go back. Once I've seen the truth, I can't go back to unseeing it. And he lays the foundation, not only for Christianity, because, the ways he chose to set things up, the way he chose to talk about things is the way we still talk about, the way we still operate. But he paves the way for us to see what conversion is supposed to look like. Now I take with the thing that God has done in my life and I run with it.